Can you?
What's that?
Uh,
we don't have
can,
we don't have the actual star yet.
Okay. Can you introduce me as average Legion player, Hercules
Yeah.
Rockefeller? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, troopers? We're here for another episode of Notorious Scoundrels. I'm here. Mike's here. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, I'm pretty good.
Yeah,
How we doing?
yeah. We're fresh off an interview that aired a couple days ago, and we actually have a special guest. There's a certain someone who sent us a message, was voicing interest in the game. He's gotten a few units, and he just wants to learn a little bit more. He's already calling himself an average Legion player, even though he really just started. But we have a Hercules Rockefeller.
Yeah, below average, maybe.
Okay, yeah. Below average for now. It'll get better.
So below average Legion player, Hercules Rockefeller.
Yeah,
300 Longshanks rating.
Is it really that bad?
I have no idea. I'm just pulling it out of thin air. I can look it up if you'd like.
It might even be worse than that.
I think it's like 200 something actually. I wasn't gonna say anything. Listen,
we're gonna have to remedy that.
You stop playing for a while and things just start degrading.
That's right. Well, that's how it works, right? Yep. Well, I've already signed up for something in January.
You have, yeah.
We're going to start fixing that.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that towards the end about what is next in your future to see if maybe you can have your Legion career blossom. Hercules.
Yeah, I'm just gonna copy you, Evan. That's gonna be my path to glory.
That is some of the worst advice
we've
I could
got
possibly
enough
give.
cheaters here. Okay.
I've already got my hang on.
Oh yeah, I figured you would have this. You may be an average Legion player. You're a professional podcaster. Look at that.
Yeah, this is the first purchase I've made in Legion in over a year. It is Aquadroids. So, and I'm also getting some other stuff courtesy of.
So there's, I ended up with a couple extra boxes of a couple things, and so randomly chosen, I sent you a customizable super tactical droid and General Grievous and a wheel bike. I was like, wow, these are just lying around.
It's a good thing I entered all those raffles, I mean, Hercules Rockefeller's always a man for a good raffle.
Yeah, so such a generous contributor to the Patreon.
Cried out in anguish.
Speaking of the Patreon, we have a couple of shout outs to make. First of all, we do have sponsors. We have sponsors on the show now, Hercules. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, yeah.
Yeah. We have legionterrain.com and Game Toppers. We have links to those and promo codes on the video page on YouTube. And then we have a couple of random shout outs. We have a Leo, man. So I'm going to go with Leo Schleicher, or it might be Schleicher. Not sure where Leo hails from, but welcome your new member. And then Robert Saruco is an old member. So we appreciate everybody's support. And we are going to have, I believe, this week, maybe next week. I'm a really good content guy. We're going to have a new TFT episode. We have a new Shatterpoint article from Matt on the site. So as always, keeping the new stuff going. We got TFT minis. Do you know about these Hercules, the TFT minis that we're doing?
Yeah, they're like short.
Yeah, little short things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so doing unit guides, and we even have this, we have this table set up now so we can talk about things like cohesion without trying to use words to describe visual concepts, which is something that you guys had to just sort of deal with for a long time.
Like
5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ish.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Technology. Quick trivia question. So Hercules Rockefeller, the origin of your name is from a Simpsons episode, right?
Accurate. Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember the other 3 names that were proposed to the judge before he landed on the titular name that Homer ends up using for the rest of that episode?
Well, Max Power is where he landed on.
Yep, that's right. So
Hanson,
2 more.
Hanson Be Wonderful.
Okay, yeah.
I'm blanking on the third one.
The third one's
Yeah.
my favorite. Is Rembrandt Q Einstein.
That's right. Yep.
But Max Power was the only one that was spelled correctly, so that's what we ended up with. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, so we're just gonna talk about the second half of Mini Stravaganza stuff today. I think we're also gonna throughout cover a little bit of the interview stuff. Of course, that episode speaks for itself. That would be the one between the two Mini Strav episodes. But last time I just had to catch a flight, so we had to stop a little bit early.
You did.
So we're gonna finish it up today, and let's just get right into it. So Hercules, a lot of updates recently happened in Mini Stravaganza. We talked about some new upgrade cards. We haven't talked about the points yet. We're gonna cover that after the battle forces. But last time you remembered, how many Imperial battle forces were there?
Somewhere between 3 and 5.
Yeah, that's usually the right answer. I think we're still in that zone, but
Okay.
yeah. So just as a reminder, there's still one like regular rebel battle force.
If you
Which is
can even
active
call
base.
it regular, I don't know.
It's a battle force that involves either FDs or Tauntauns, which is
Yeah.
not the greatest place to start out in the world.
I mean, Ewoks is sort of, quote unquote, a rebel battle force.
You only need
It's a
two
different
rebels.
faction. It's a different
Yeah.
faction.
That's a mercenary battle force, Hercules.
Okay. All right. Technicalities.
Yeah. But meanwhile, all the way over here, we have the fourth battle force for the Galactic Empire.
Okay.
The cup runneth over for a Galactic Empire, and so we're going to start there because the other one is going to be a little bit more to it in terms of the other one has command cards. I think that there was an interview that I think it might have been on Grey Squadron where they asked about like what goes into the decision making about which battle force gets command cards, and the answer was basically like, do we think that they need them or not?
I think that's
which
fair.
Is, yeah, which is
Yeah.
fair, which is fair. The one that stands out to me was like they were already going to give Wicket 3 command cards. Did they really need to give like 4 other ones to the rest of the Ewoks?
Yeah,
Well,
but it's like its own faction. We just
it's
talked about this,
exactly-
right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
fair. But despite that, Shoutout Collective they technically only have the Maul cards and the Gar Saxon cards.
I mean, the Stormtrooper Battalion has all of Darth Vader's cards.
That's true. Well, or does it? Let's talk about that. So the Stormtrooper Battalion has, as most new battle forces do, is that there's some special rules. It's not just sort of a changed army comp. There's some other funky stuff going on. So the special rules here are that non-unique commander and operatives in this army gain target 2, and in this army, and for the foreseeable future, that means the various customizable officer/agent options that Empire has. They gain target 2, and then when a non-unique commander or operative is issued an order, it gains 1 surge token. So it's sort of like the surge version of target, is that they're going to get both those things once they get an order. And then also, the commander units in this army have compel while they are the nominated commander, which weirdly means that if you're using a command card with an agent, then they're not going to have compel, but when they have a commander, they will. So it is what it is. And then army building, I was curious what your first reaction was, Mike, when it comes to the army building, because it's sort of like a pyramid shaped list, which is at the top, very few choices. You have the customs and you have Vader, and that's it. And that includes both commander and operative slot. But only Vader commander, Op Vader, sorry to tell you this, Hercules is not legal on this list.
That's a shame. He's so much better.
They missed out, right?
I'm still on Team Op Vader.
Good for you, hanging in there.
Yeah.
So the core options are Riot Control Squad, a favorite of this podcast for time immemorial, and Stormtroopers.
Are they still terrible?
No, they're not terrible anymore.
Yeah, I would say they're serviceable, but
yeah, serviceable I think is the right word for them now.
Okay.
They got a huge points cut. It was 18 points, right, Mike?
I think it was like 18 points on the base unit, right, or something. I don't know.
I think
Maybe
it was like
18
10
points
and
altogether.
8, like 10 on the base and then 8 on the droid, if I remember.
They're the
but it was
same
a total
cost
18
as
point
a-
cut for the unit plus heavy.
Yeah.
And then there's the Imperial March upgrade that came out that basically functionally gives them a semi burst of speed every round if they're doing 2 moves. They get to do their second one with speed 3, so they get in there faster. They're serviceable. They also got a callus upgrade, so they got some stuff going on. So special forces is probe droid and scout troopers. Support is speeders and E-webs, and then heavies is ATST, LAT, and the GAV. So those are. It's funny that it's sort of like all the Imperial heavies except for the one that might be the best in the meta right now, which is Star Troopers, but it's still most of them. And then just sort of smattering of stuff. The unique upgrades allowed. The things that really matter here are that command and control uplink is allowed, which is a basically a free -1 pip on your command, which is pretty good last time I heard. And then the Agent Callus upgrade is allowed on, so he could go on a Stormtrooper or a riot control squad. The regular Agent Callus, who would have actually been very useful in this list, is not allowed as an operative. So that's a shame. And go ahead.
Disappointing.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shame. And then for the rank requirements, you can have up to 3 commanders. Probably not something that most people are going to exploit, and then up to 2 operatives. 4 to 7 core. So that's an interesting one. And then max of 2 special forces. The other ranks are the same. So, and that's it. So there's no command cards. And like what it all amounts to is this mechanic where you have these commanders that are getting these free tokens. And along those lines, it's important to remember that while you can put all 4 customs in this list, there's only one commander that has exemplar. There's one doctrine that has exemplar, and all the doctrines are unique. And then there's one doctrine that has aid, which means that he could punt tokens over to the exemplar guy or directly over to a unit. But that the other 2 don't have any token sharing capability in this list that I'm aware of. Because there's the prepare positions guy can share to a prepare positions unit, but none of these units are going to have that. So like this token thing really functionally matters for 2 guys. Am I missing something, Mike?
I mean, I think functionally, if you want it to like really, really matter, you got to take the exemplar and the aid guy. But
yeah,
putting target 2 and a surge token on your like non-defensively surging operative is like also fine if you're kind of treating them as like a focus piece. Like if you got the relentless guy, right? Having target 2, and I think that is that the guy that also has target 1, so he's like on target 3 or
oh yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
No. That the aid guy's got, or maybe it is. I don't have these memorized yet.
They do naturally. They both naturally surge in both ways, by the way. So, like, if you're not aiding the surge token, I'm pretty sure it's not doing anything for you.
Oh, for the agent, yeah, okay, that's fair.
And it's the tip of the spear has tactical. The platoon commander has sharpshooter, and then the defendant depth.
If you take combat armor, right? Like I do think the surge token is helpful if you take combat armor, right?
Well, but you still naturally surge if you take I see what you mean. If you take combat armor, yes, then that makes you lose surge to block, and so the surge token would actually allow you be able to use it on defense. But yeah, and so at that point you're investing. So combat armor is 15 points, and then you're investing a lot. But I think it's fair to say that like the focus of getting all those aims and a couple surges is the aid and exemplar guy. And it seems like the list is basically like how is you could sort of summarize it as making a way to give pre-activation tokens to just a bunch of stormtroopers.
Yeah, it's like if you put Kalani and your super attack in a Empire list, right? That's what this is.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. You know, lucky for CIS, they don't have to get restricted by Battle Force to be able to do that.
Sure. I mean,
isn't that nice?
Yeah, but I also think that giving Empire the ability to pseudo surge defensively in a Battle Force that can take 7 super squads at like a very affordable price point, is something you've got to gate check. And I would be really concerned if it wasn't, to be honest. I'm sort of a little bit concerned that even with it being checked, I mean, seven super squads of Storms is 574. There's scout troopers in this, and there's also probe droids, which I gotta say we haven't talked about them yet, but are relevant to this conversation. The probe droids look like they suck enough that they're probably going to be really cheap, and they have detachment special forces. So I think it's probably pretty reasonable that you could pack in like another 5 to 6 activations on top of the supers plus your generic officers. So we could be easily be looking at like a 13 to 15 activation list that is like Kalani'd up and has 7 super squads, you know, which seems like it could be good on the surface.
Yeah, and I agree that I have a feeling that probe droids are going to be really cheap because they die like a piece of wet tissue paper, and you know, they don't have like great attack, but I think that they're going to be much more useful for activation padding than strike teams like ever have been in the new form of Legion.
I think they're going to be the new strike team for Empire.
Yeah, I think so too.
Basically.
So Hercules, what do you think at first blush looking at this battle force?
I mean, it's definitely restrictive. I've always been a little underwhelmed by Storms, so I don't know how I feel about an entire battle force centered around him. I think I would probably still want to take Vader in this list, even though it's Commander Vader. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't go with a weather-themed name. I feel like that holds it back a little bit, you know?
We're going to get to that.
That's going to be reserved for the moist trooper battle force.
Yeah, I saw there's like rain troopers or something. And mud troopers.
We're gonna get there, don't worry.
All the weather troopers. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. It could be good. That's a lot of stormtroopers. 7 super squads is what, like almost 70, not quite 70 stormtroopers.
It is 63, right?
Yeah. You start adding in like heavy weapons and stuff if you wanted to do that, because you might have the points if you're taking a bunch of other cheap stuff. Then I mean, that's a lot of stormtroopers. I don't know if it's good. I think probably some of those objectives that require you to split could be a problem.
This battle force will suck in any situation where you have to split. I think is going to be its primary issue.
That is my hang up number 1 and 2. Basically, is that Empire has basically had a splitting problem since New Legion began, and like it's been a little bit tough when the way to solve that is often a way to solve that is to have Callus with the upgrade that allows him to share his courage as an operative, since he's so cheap. And then he's got a direct, and then if you have Pask, then he can do a coordinate off of that, and you can have like a little mini unit over on the side that is like self-sufficient. Obviously, like none of that's going to be possible on this list, and you know, the 2 commanders that matter, those being like, or aside from Vader, I mean, the 2 commanders that matter from a token sharing perspective, the Aid guy and the Exemplar guy, are going to be. They're going to need to be sort of close to each other, and then they both need to be fairly close to the whole rest of the army, which means that on breakthrough, I feel like that's maybe the easiest example of this list might have a tough time. But it's a lot of dice, and so breakthrough might be trouble, but then you think about bunker assault, like on the other end of the spectrum, is that they're just going to like sit there shooting at you the whole time, and you have to chew through their stuff. Like that actually does seem like it'd be pretty tough. So I'm also a little bit wary of piling stormtroopers into a list. I feel like that hasn't been good since the beginning of Legion.
I don't know. I think that what this kind of reminds me of is Remnant, and I know that there are some like pretty important differences between the current like high performing Remnant lists and this list, but
Yeah.
this is definitely a way more efficient way of doing what the Remnant list is doing, right? Which is essentially getting a bunch of free tokens top of turn,
Yeah.
and shoving a bunch of super squads in your face.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the Gideon trick. It doesn't have the Dark Troopers. I'm also not convinced though that will matter if you actually have 63 bodies plus another 450 points of stuff, you know.
Yeah. So Hercules, Mike's been having the recent experience of playing a bunch of marksmen, like a list piled high with marksmen. And so I mean, yeah, how many clones do you have in that list again? It's like 63 actual clone bodies, or
yeah, it's something like that.
and that includes Bad Batch. So
yeah, that's not the effective health. That is the actual model
the
count.
number of models.
Yeah.
See, that sounds a lot better than 63 stormtroopers. To me.
No
does,
doubt,
doesn't
no
it?
doubt. But the 63 stormtroopers isn't the whole list, right? It's
That's-
63 stormtroopers plus 12 scouts plus 3 probe droids plus a couple generics. Like, you know, at that point you're up to probably like 80, 85 models, and you're surging for the most part.
I will say, here's the other thing: is that if you do use Vader in this list, and obviously, you know, there's going to be Vader. There's sort of just going to be Vader versions and then spam versions of this list, if you really zoom out. But Vader is he's very not share friendly with his orders. It's literally just the new ways in his 3-pip, one of his 3-pips, I should say. And so you would have to, if you wanted to get those face-ups on the customs, then you would need to be using Seize, the Initiative, or Trusted Agent in order to like augment the fact that Vader is like hogging all the tokens from the command cards.
Yeah, so I think what I would say there is I agree generally, but I think you probably only take Vader's 1-pips. Darkness Descends is mitigated by the fact that Vader can spend the surges on the Exemplar guy.
True.
Which is while obviously those are like gold in this list. Like that is a relevant thing to Vader.
Yeah.
And you know, I think so I think you can get by without Darkness Descends here. And like his 2-pips are pretty leave him at homeable if you're triggering other effects, right? So you're really just giving up Master of Evil, and then you seize the initiative for the 1-pips. Right?
Well, and Master of Evil allows you to give out 2 other orders.
Yeah,
So-
but you don't get the effects unless you nominate them. I'm pretty sure it's got to have a generic nominated. Right?
Well, the for getting the tokens, you just need to be issued an order. The nominated
It's just
part
the
is compel, which Vader has anyway.
Okay.
So Master of Evil would still work.
Yeah.
And I think even like Darkness Descends, I mean, you're playing that on the first turn, right? So do you are you going to be shooting stuff with stormtroopers that have no scout
I
or
was gonna say
infiltrate
the
on the
same
first
thing.
turn anyway?
Well, you're
I
going
think
to
you can
want the
still use
surge
Darkness
tokens,
Descends.
though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it saves 2 stormtroopers. Like, is that worth a bunch of surges on Vader over the course of the game? Because you're getting
fair,
you're getting
I
2
guess.
surges total, right? It's not like
Yeah.
1 surge per stormtrooper unit.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
fair.
So essentially, you're saving 2 stormtroopers potentially at the cost of Vader getting surge tokens all game. So I don't know. I mean, if you're using
Battle
it,
Force.
yeah,
Well, I'm guessing that you'd one or both of the like newly announced sort of generic-ish Empire units are going to end up in this. I assume that the wet weather stormtroopers are probably going to be piled in here, but they're probably just far enough away that they didn't put them in the document, or they're not going to go in here at all. I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah.
We do have one other battle force that was announced as part of Menace draft. So we have the 212th Attack Battalion. I'm going to go over the special rules real quick, and then Mike, you're going to help us out with the commands, which this one does get. So This is Galactic Republic, obviously, and this one is when an allied non-commander, non-operative vehicle unit, so that's going to be excluding poor Obi-Wan Kenobi on a bark whenever he comes out, which is wild that we're still talking about
isn't
that.
this
Well,
like?
well, hold
but
on,
also,
hold on.
isn't this
Before-
his battle force? Basically?
Well, before we say that, let's get to the rest of the text here.
So yeah, before an allied non-commander, non-operative vehicle unit is attacking or defending, it may spend up to 1 aim token, dodge token, or surge token belonging to a non-commander, non-operative allied vehicle unit and within line of sight. So it can share any token with a vehicle, is basically what that's saying, as long as it's not commander operative. Or up to 1 aim or dodge token belonging to an allied clone trooper unit within range 2 and in line of sight, as if the attacking or defending vehicle had that token. So there's a couple of things here, is that vehicles can share whatever token they want with each other, but vehicles can only take from clone troopers when it comes to the trooper vehicle sharing. So you can't do the reverse. Like, a vehicle can't give an aim to a trooper, and a vehicle can take an aim from a trooper. But it cannot, this is super important, the vehicle cannot take a surge token from a trooper.
I swear,
man. Here's the trouble, is that the main, now that aggressive tactics, I hate to tell you this, Hercules, aggressive tactics is not in the game anymore.
Sad.
What do you think about that?
I'm sad. I also saw that Palpatine is not in the game anymore either, which also makes me sad.
We don't even have time for that one.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we better move on. So that part, I don't know, Mike. Do you feel like it was necessary to like keep that away from the clone players, the surge sharing from troopers? Because like, where else are they going to get the surges?
I mean, so there are other places. Specifically, the shock trooper pilot on the Saber tank allows you to give that surge token to any unit, so you can give those surge tokens to other vehicles in the list.
Okay.
Which is obviously relevant. That might be.
That can also go on ISPs, by the way, the shock trooper.
Yes. Yeah. And so you can take. Haven't talked about it yet, but one of the perks of this list is you can take 3 heavies.
Yeah.
And with ISPs being like affordable, that's like a real thing you can do. But the other way to do it, I think I'm hesitant to say the only other way to get it is force guidance, I think.
That's units, right? Not troopers.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
And so you could put that on Kenobi, you could put that on the Jedi Knight. You can't take the clone commander, so you can't bolster anything, which is a little bit awkward. Interesting decision to not allow the clone commander here, but allow it in the 501st. Kind of weird, but whatever.
It feels weird to have a battle force that does not have access to the generic commander, right?
It does. Although I have a suspicion that right now this battle force. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go over the allowed units real quick and the rank requirements, and then we'll go over the command cards. And then I think we can talk about how this is looking as a whole. So the alien units, just Obi and Cody. So you're going to be taking one or both of those in this list, no matter what. You're allowed to have the custom Jedi Knight as an operative if you want to, which is sort of interesting. And then you can have infantry or marksman. That is all 2 of the legal core in Republic. We doubled it recently. Very happy for everybody. And then special forces is ARF trooper, ARF trooper only. Support, surprisingly, is ATRT only. Yeah. And then heavy is all of the heavies, right? Saber, Lat, and ISP. Yeah. And then for the unique upgrades, I think the things that are most relevant here, aside from the fact that it includes Squadron Leader, which we still don't know what that is yet, that'll be an upgrade that comes out sometime.
Presumably in Upgrade Pack 2.
Yeah, probably. But you are allowed to take Boyle and Waxer, which are the 2 squad leader upgrades that came with that come with Cody when you get him. And then for the rank stuff, 1 to 2 commanders, 1 operative, 1 to 4 core. So just like 5 at first there.
Yeah.
Up to 3 support units, up to 3 special forces, and then 1 to 3 heavies. So just like Separatist Invasion, this one is requiring that you take at least 1 heavy, 1 commander, and 1 core is like the required starting point of this army, and then you can sort of do whatever else with the rest. So there are some command cards. Mike, why don't you tell us about those?
Yeah. So the command cards, I would encourage everyone to treat these command cards like they were printed Battle Force abilities on the Battle Force sheet, because that's kind of how they
It's
operate.
very much how they work. Yeah.
Like the like token sharing stuff is like fun and cool, but these are the reasons to actually play this Battle Force.
Yes, I agree.
Is what I would say. So the 1 pip is sneak attack. It gives an order to 1 unit, and it is the entirety of it does nothing when you play it as your command card. It's
So
just
when you play it, it's just ambush 2.
It's just, you're right. It's just ambush. It has a divulge effect. So it's divulge setup. Choose up to 2 core clone troopers units. Each chosen unit gains infiltrate this game. Then for each special forces unit in your army, choose a different vehicle unit. Each chosen vehicle unit gains scout 1. This is super powerful. I'm imagining, you're like, okay, I'm taking like 2 naked marksmen, and then I'm going to take 2 infantry super squads with shotguns, and I'm going to infiltrate those. That seems really powerful if you could like basically infiltrate 5s, right? Like obviously you can't infiltrate 5s because 5s isn't in this Battle Force, but you can infiltrate the squad minus 5s. Still very good.
That would allow you to do a range 3 shot anywhere within range 1.5. Like it basically, if your opponent has guys that even reach the edge of their actual like territory, then you would be able to shoot them with a move and shoot, right? Because you would start at 1.5, and then you do a speed 1 move. You're at 2.5 plus the range 3.
As long as they are 3 inches off their board edge, I think.
Oh, actually, you're right. So
Yeah.
you'd be able to attack pretty much everybody. I was actually like range 1 too short in terms of that.
If you want the pierce
estimation.
shot, you were doing
Yes.
the correct
Yeah.
measurement, right?
Yeah.
But like 10 guys in a clone squad is at range 3 is like generally fine, right?
It's basically Aqua Trooper shooting a range.
Yeah.
It's basically similar to that. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then the scout thing is like, to me, this is like, please include ARF troopers in this list.
I actually think that this is kind of interesting. I know that so it's a little bit weird, right? Because ATRTs already have scout. So you don't want to give the scout to them. So this is pretty much just scout for heavies. And what I think this is sort of doing is basically for each ARF trooper unit, you can bring your heavy on, take a shot, move the heavy, and then bring the next heavy in to take the same shot because the spot is gone, right?
Right.
And most of the, heavies in Republic are very long range. So, bringing one of the problems with the Saber tank and the ISP beam stuff is that like you move on, you shoot, and if you've got a second one, there's like no good spot to like put it and take a shot. But this kind of fixes that if you want to pay 66 points for like the worst unit in Republic.
As R2D2 does still exist in this game, Mike.
Sure.
Does he cost 66 points?
He costs 55,
he's 55
for just R2.
For just R2, yeah.
But I would be honest
Still
with you.
bearing the sins of his previous life.
If you could take R2 in this Battle Force, I think I would. To be honest.
Yeah, the repairs would probably be useful.
Yeah. So that's sneak attack. I think it's got some interesting play there. It definitely opens up. It kind of like encourages you to list build in different ways. Recon Division should really just be named Setup Clone Commander Cody's command cards.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a 2-pip. It gives orders to 2 vehicles or special forces units. This round, each allied trooper unit gains action observed 1. You can treat that as text that is not on this card.
But what about ARF troopers? Because that does give them action observe 3.
Sure. Again, you can treat this as if it was it wasn't on this card. So the actual text on this is, additionally, during the remove token step of the next end phase, if an enemy unit with one or more observation tokens has line of sight to one or more of allied units, the enemy unit does not remove any observation tokens. So basically, this allows you to set up a really sweet combined arms or bring it down turn. I think this is a really, really super powerful effect to play on like turn 1. So you're like, okay, I divulge sneak attack, I play recon division, I move my 3 beam ISPs onto the board with the observation pilot, which is funny because it's the 327 Star Corps pilot, which is takeable in the 212th, but flavor foul aside,
whoops.
So he's like an exchange student, basically. You know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You like,
I'm just visiting.
Take a bunch of beam shots. You lay down like 9 observation tokens, and all of a sudden, all those observation tokens are still there, assuming you haven't killed them next turn for your combined arms turn. And like the whole problem with combined arms was you had to like work to set it up the same turn.
Yeah.
Right. But also, this would bring it down is kind of insane if you just drop like 9 observation tokens on a bunch of different units, and then you just like add suppressive to all your like split fire pools the next turn. Like, they're going to have suppression from the beam shots on turn 1 already, and then you're going to be just like dumping suppression into them with bring it down.
Yeah, or dumping impact into like big armor units.
Yeah, either one. Seems quite good, frankly.
Yep. And we have one more, right?
Yep, 3-pip flexible strategy. 3 units. When a trooper unit is issued an order with this card, it may remove up to 1 suppression token or make a speed 1 move. When a vehicle unit is issued an order with this card, it may gain an aim token or a dodge token. This card's fine. It's better than assault in this list. This is gonna be your other 3-pip.
Yeah, it's a very flexible thing, and it's 3 units, so you can use this to get a speed 1 move out of Kenobi, right? Like pre-activation if you really need to. Or
if you're putting Kenobi in your list, do not take this battle force. this should just be the clone Commander
World
Cody
Champion
battle
is
force.
Is hearing you say this and getting angry right now.
That's fine, Isaiah. We
neither of us care.
Yeah. I just like. The reason to take this battle force is to play Clone Commander Cody with like Recon Division and all these sweet vehicles. You can actually, because of the core minimum requirement being like significantly less, I actually think like putting 3 saber tanks with beam turrets and like link targeting array on the table might be a reasonable thing, frankly. You can get up to like 10 activations still and have the list look pretty reasonable.
I was looking at that exact list actually.
And it's even more reasonable than would be ordinarily because the marksmen on the table start with dodge tokens, which power your outmaneuver on the sabers. And like you can't share surges, but you can share those turn 1 dodge tokens.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I think like, you just take a bunch of naked core units and you're like, these core units aim dodge, like whatever. Or like move aim, the marksmen start on the points anyways, so it's kind of.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that like I think that the list normally goes well with marksmen, but that the infiltrate thing sort of motivates you to get infantry in there.
Yeah, it does. I think like you can still do that, but you might have to like cut a saber tank or something.
Yeah. So Hercules, how many built lats do you have?
How many built lats do I have?
Yeah.
I have 0 built lats.
Oh man.
I have a lat, but it is not built.
Okay. Is this like, if you had infinite time, would this awaken your desire to finally like get the lat out?
Potentially. I've always wanted to paint it.
Yeah.
If I could paint 3, that would certainly be fun.
Man,
I love painting
free
clones.
lats.
I have a ton of clones. Obviously, none of them are the new clones, but
Yeah, get ready
you
to buy
know.
another 60.
Yeah, they're also 501st, but I'm sure that there will be many 212th battle forces that are not painted like 212th. So, yeah, no, I mean it's interesting. I think clone vehicles have been trying for a long time to be decent. There was a time period when like the double saber nonsense with R2 and Padme a long time ago at this point before they removed
really
exemplar
alienating our
from
listeners right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, when
They're like, that was good.
yeah, when Republic used to be the only faction that had exemplar, and now it's the only faction that doesn't have exemplar.
And now you're making Mike mad.
Pagani.
Yeah. Other than that brief time period, I feel like clone vehicles have been struggling to be relevant en masse for a while. Barks have always been kind of they're decent enough as objective units. Take them, don't take the guns kind of a thing. But
yeah,
I could see this actually being like I actually want to run clone vehicles as a list concept. So the command cards are certainly interesting.
I like the command cards a lot, and they definitely, they do their job of sort of making you less sad about the fact that you're forced to take ARF troopers if you want to take any special forces. The thing that weirds me out about this army is the fact that the only support allowed is ATRT. When Bark Obi-Wan comes out, like even if this didn't change at all, that is going to be legal because these mounted commanders are just like called the same thing as the regular version. So you would be able to put him in there, but then you wouldn't be able to put regular Barks, nor there's also going to be like a generic Jedi Bark that we'll go over when we go over that stuff. I don't know. It feels weird that Barks aren't in here. I don't get it.
It must be a balanced choice. Other than that, like thematically, it seems like they should belong in a vehicle list. So
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, so yeah, I sort of feel like when all of that stuff comes out, this will be like they will update. I do think they will update the allowed units here. I don't really understand. There's like, I think very little reason to include the nomenclature for the like non-commander, non-operative vehicle units is attacking or defending if the intention is to not have the Barks be takeable in this list, and if they're not, or rather if they are, like it would be weird to have Obi-Wan Kenobi on a Bark in the battle force and also not be able to take Barks.
Yeah. That we'll have to see. And then if fingers crossed that when we actually do see the card for Obi-Wan Kenobi, that he is going to have deflect, which would mean that he wouldn't be needing those surge tokens anyway. But
hey, if he's half as good as Grievous, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I think at least so far we're batting 100 as far as the mounted commanders being pretty good. Yeah. So let's now, or any other thoughts on 212 before we shift gears to the balance patch?
I think that this will at least encourage the potential for some diversity in Republic lists. We'll see, I guess. I think the if there is an issue with this battle force, it's going to be in a limited roster of things that you could put in it.
Yeah.
It does not have a ton of choices, and I think a lot of the sort of like, a lot of the bad units in Republic, let's put them in a battle force. Like we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be curious where Isaiah ends up in terms of. I believe that he's actually going to be playing in the same Portland tournament in a couple weeks that I'm going to, and I think he's going to be taking some kind of 212 nonsense. So I'm going to be curious what he puts together. I am a little bit curious about like if you did put 3 lats in here and they all had Scout 1, like you're doing you could potentially be doing a Scout 1, drop off an ARF, keep going, make a turn 1 shot, and then you're doing that with 3 lats, and it just ends up being a lot of beef on the board. But one of those is, if you do that, then one of those is probably going to die like by the beginning of round 2, and then all of a sudden you're starting to get in trouble. So I don't really even know.
Yeah.
But it's something that could be fun.
I do think that there is going to be a lot of games where people just instantly die to the 212 because 2 shotgun infantry squads infiltrated at the end of the game and people don't know how to play against it yet.
It's a really big alpha if you allow yourself to get caught by it. And it seems like it might be pretty easy to do that. So,
which is funny because this is supposed to be a vehicle-centered list. And I definitely I've built a few versions of this that are just it's basically just heavy infantry.
It's like infantry plus 1 ISP that's just sort of punching.
Yeah, it's just
everywhere.
Sitting in the bag. It's here, have a surge token, marksman.
But it doesn't even need to be in the bag. Like if it's near Cody, it'll have it face up all the time, right? So
yeah.
It's really not bad. All right, so points adjustments. This is sort of the big thing that we've been now dancing around for several segments, and we finally have to get to it. This is the turkey and the gravy, so to speak. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody else out there. This is the turkey and the gravy of the Notorious Scoundrels podcast, right? Some points adjustments happen, and we need to. We've had a couple weeks to sort of cool down the hot takes. I'm sure that did matter for Mike, but
Never does.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think. We're just gonna go over it faction by faction, and I will just list them out. I have the document pulled up. So we'll start with the Rebels. AA5 up 10 to 75. For the unit, the heavy laser down 5 to 7. The quad laser down 10 to 10. And the unstable astromech, which can go there, or the X-34, up 10 to 16. The fleet trooper super squad is down 5 to 40. Mark II medium blasters up 2 to 40. That's because of the cumbersome change. We did it, by the way, on cumbersome. The Rebel Commando sniper down 3 to 35, and the Rebel Trooper super squad down 5 to 40. The Rebel Veteran super squad got adjusted last time, and I guess that they're letting that one cool off. Still hanging out there at 50. And
it's been real spicy. It's been real spicy so far.
Yeah. So that's the Rebels compared to last time where, Sabine functionally went down by 30. Ahsoka went down by 30. We had really big cuts for the Rebel veterans, and then there were a couple nerfs for sleepers and laser RTs, which were sort of showing up everywhere at the time. But Mike, let's start with you. What do you think about where the Rebels have ended up after all this?
Well, I think the funniest thing here is that they put unstable astromech under the AA5 speeder truck,
which is not where it mattered.
as if it was, as if they were nerfing the AA5 speeder truck.
But finally, we won't have triple moving AA5s
my god! Again. Yeah, I think the AA5 speeder truck stuff is whatever. I guess the naked bus, I guess, is a little bit more expensive, which I don't mind. But I don't think it was strictly necessary. Their intent here obviously is to encourage people to take the guns.
Yeah, I think that the intent here is to have less just mobile wall AA5s, because sort of reading between the lines of the devs, I think that the Rebel players are going to get mad. That's fine. I think that's pretty boring for list building, is to just have a wall that moves around. Instead the wall should be doing huge shots at range 3 with aqua droids, right? But I think that that is probably the reason. So yeah, if you were taking quad lasers anyway, the cost didn't change.
Yeah, I think the AA5 as the truck that shuts off the alley and closes you in the spy movie is in the naked bus has been just a cool concept on the table, even if it's I don't know.
You can still do it. You just need to pay
it's more expensive. I don't really think they need to nerf it, but
yeah.
The super squad changes fine. It's gonna make the Cassian thing way better.
For fleets.
I think it's good for Rebel troopers too if you want to do something. I think Cassian in either of those squads is reasonable.
Yeah.
I don't put him in vets, please and thank you.
No, yeah. That
Mark II medium blaster change from the cumbersome. Okay, I guess. I don't really think it's 2 points is going to change much. And I think the 3 points down on the DH447 sniper is funny, I guess. Like nobody's going to take the sniper, and still like 3 points isn't enough. You're only taking like even if you were taking the sniper in any amount of units, like this is only going to save you like 6 points, 6 to 12, I guess. But
in my day job, we would call that a clinically insignificant change.
Yeah, it's there's not enough happening there. I don't know.
So that Hercules, when you see this, you've been out of the game for a little while. Like, what sort of a story does this tell you about where Rebels are right now?
I mean, it's not a lot of changes, frankly, right? So
Nope.
that tells me that they think the Rebels are basically fine.
And they are. I mean, honestly, like they do well. Of course, even when it's not what at least Mike and I considered the problem unit, which was the double tapping X-34, which now that list is 20 points more expensive if they were running 2 of them, which is not nothing, but it's also pretty navigable. Like the enemy of the podcast, Brian Bear, already had like a new 14-act list that had 2 double tapping X-34s, so he didn't really need to change all that much. We'll see how much that actually changes, but yeah, like Rebels, they had been, I think they ended up at like a 52% win rate since the last like major points change. So they've obviously been doing just fine. They're like them and Republic were the ones that were like close enough to like the mean and the standard deviation that they theoretically didn't need a lot of changes. And then like they already got a couple of pretty meaningful unique like commander and operative changes. So the commandos and Wookiees thing, maybe we'll talk about Wookiees when we get to Republic, but the commandos thing is sort of funky to me because I really feel like the one time the full commando unit felt relevant in Legion was the era right after the dodge spam. Like when they did a points hike on all of the dodge spam core units, like there were some people trying out full commando units because the low profile was sort of a back alley version of the dodge spam thing. But in New Legion, I have not seen them matter so far.
Yeah, I feel like the Rebel Commando adjustment here, I kind of like am looking at it and be like, what are we doing here? Why are we even bothering to make this change? Like if we were like actively shooting to achieve a goal with this change, this doesn't get us anywhere, right? I don't know.
And Rebels aren't even like Remnant, where that sniper rifle going down means that like maybe it's a little bit more attractive for a Stormtrooper unit to take in a Remnant or whatever. Like here, that's not even relevant, right? So
yeah, I mean, people aren't even taking commandos without the heavy, right?
That's what I mean. They're not taking it with the heavy. They're not taking Sabs.
I do think
so. Yeah.
One thing that I do want to kind of like chat about here is that I thought about unstable a lot. I actually wish that they just banned the card. I think
I'm with you. Bring on the hate.
Because here's the thing. Like it went up 10 points to 16. Fine. Yeah. The real statement that needs to be addressed here, though, is that if unstable astromech landspeeder lists are competitive, they box out things in the list building stage of the game. And so, like, if that is still cheap enough to like take and not feel bad about, like, it's the problem still exists, right? And like, is it more expensive? Yes. Does it limit the things you could put alongside it in the list? Absolutely. Does that change the fact that if I know that, like, you know, my opponent could bring 2 unstable land speeders that I pretty much can't play in ISP? Well, that's still true, right? Like, I don't know. So
if I was an Empire player or Republic, I would still be really wary about having like a 12-act list where I wanted to toss like one lat in there.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do it because it's, you know, you're
Still
you're
impact
just
12,
basically
critical
just
4, ion 4.
you're just handing your opponent, you know, 120 points or whatever, and go, okay, I'm going to drop off my unit from transport, and then please do feast on this right away, and I'm not going to be able to do anything about it.
So maybe the answer isn't to ban it. Maybe the answer is just like change the text of the card to say something else, which is effectively banning it. You know, I don't know, but we'll see. That might not be an issue at all. This might be big enough of a hike that it's not competitive, but it is something that I think I'm looking at this, and the thing that I still am feeling like, Brian's still putting together land speeder lists. I'm gonna still have to think about this, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You know, I don't know. Like that, the problem in my head hasn't changed yet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's move on to Empire. This is the page in the PDF that is mostly green. A lot of decreases happening, but it, funny enough, starts out with an increase. I literally did not even notice this part until just now because I don't think I had seen anybody talk about it. But the dewback flame rifle went up by 4 to 14. But then everything else for this change was decreased. Fifth Brother down 8 to 97. Each one of the Dark Troopers went down by anywhere between 4 and 6. Not the whole unit, but all of the extra minis that you can get, the extra guy, and then the 3 heavies down by between 4 and 6. DLT on the Death Troopers down by 2 to 28. ISF down by 6 to 62, and the heavy down by 3 to 24. Lat finally matching the Republic Lat down by 10 to 90. Moff Gideon, the big winner, strangely, was down by 20 from 100 to 80. Scout Troopers down by 3 to, the Sniper Rifle down by 3 to 35. Seven Sister down by 8 to 102. The Snow Trooper Super.
I think the numbers are reversed here.
The numbers are reversed. Okay, it went from 46 to 40, so it went down by 6 to 40. And then 2 more for the Gav Hercules, the Gav tank. The 2 heavies both went down by 4. Let's start there, Hercules. What do you think about the state of Gav and Empire at first blush?
I've never been impressed with the Gav, and I don't know that changes with 4 points here. I don't know.
I've never trusted Gavs, and I never will. Yeah. So someday.
Yeah, maybe, but today is not that day.
It is not this day.
I will say.
What do you think of the rest, though?
So this is an aside. I want to start with this because this is, I think, the first time I've looked at points adjustments since they changed how this looks. I love the new presentation.
Oh, yeah. It's really nice.
This is probably the second time that they've done this, and I missed the last one.
Yes.
But
right.
yeah, nice job. You know, not having to like fish through a bunch of points to see what changed and what didn't, and like this is great.
Yeah,
So,
it used to be shared Excel files in the community to figure out stuff like this, and it's much better to just see it on the document. So kudos to Andrew for that.
As somebody who has a good friend who used to write articles about this stuff all the time. Yeah. I mean, Gideon down 20 and Dark Troopers down lots of random points. It's my understanding that remnant lists have already been kind of like reasonably competitive. So it seems like this makes that even better potentially.
Yep. I would say so.
So I mean, just looking at all this green here, that is kind of what stands out to me as probably the most impactful from like making something that was already reasonable even better. A lot of this other stuff feels like, I guess, you know, like again, you got the DLT 19X down 3K. Like it seems like they're trying to recognize that maybe, you know, with the points increases to the sniper rifles that came with the cover changes, they might have overcompensated a little bit, but they're still not willing to go all the way back down to where they were before. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to do it incrementally, but at least here, I'm not sure if like putting a sniper rifle on a stormtrooper like was something that was really actually sort of point sufficient before, but it is a little bit more now. Like, what do you think about that one, Mike? In Remnant, I mean, having a stormtrooper plus sniper rifle on top of that.
No, there's just no way you're paying 13 extra points over the DLT 19, not X, which has 2 surging red dice at 4.
Yeah, you're probably
It's
right.
Nope.
It's still a lot of points.
It's still a 35-point Stormtrooper.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
so
It's
it'd have to
put it
be
that way.
yeah. It's that sniper rifle costs that's an Ahsoka.
that's almost a Stormtrooper super squad by itself.
Yes.
Right? 5 more points and you got another 4 Stormtroopers.
That is accurate, and that has 4 additional health, and
right.
And at range 3 is actually like getting more offense out there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Otherwise, though, Mike, I think that so certainly Remnant gets better. That much is clear. It was already good. Now it's cheaper. They have more points to play with.
Which is just an interesting choice, just generally. I think the fact that like that is like a lot of the changes to units in here are targeting units that like are specifically in Remnant. Like I definitely think Gideon needed to come down because I don't think we see him outside Remnant, but I'm not sold on the Dark Trooper changes. We'll see.
So far in New Legion with the pass token mechanic, the thing about Dark Troopers, maybe even more than like their fighting capability, is the turn 1 advantage that you get from the sort of false pass tokens that you're able to get with that list. To be able to activate them twice and therefore get that big pass token advantage, and basically making sure that no matter what, you get to go last, and usually like with your last 2 activations when you're running a Remnant list, which is very, very nice. So that's going to be good. Mike, what do you think about ISF? Do you think that... So the thing is that Iden is still too expensive.
Yes, I think ISF's problem, the main problem, I would even go as far as to say, is that Iden has been too expensive. This definitely helps. This
the whole thing is down by 9 now. If you're like doing the Alpha Strike thing.
If you're taking 3 of them, 30, it's fine, I guess. I'm not sure ISF like really synergize with outside of Iden with Empire's game plan overall. And I think that's the thing that I'd like to like highlight overall with these changes is that I think that these changes makes Remnant a lot better, but I'm not sure that this changes anything about the state of Empire in general. You're still not going to play the LAT. The sniper changes don't matter. The Inquisitor changes don't matter. The dewback flamer went up. Death Troopers at 2 points cheaper. Okay, that might matter in a couple lists. But like the only change in here that is like sort of relevant for normal Imperial lists is the ISF changes, and I'm just like not sure that is really relevant. I don't know. Am I off base here, or am I going to crazy town?
It's like if you're an Empire list and you're looking at, I want to add another shooter. So the ISF plus heavy is 86 now. And then how much is regular Inferno? Remember back in the day when like regular Inferno was everywhere in Empire?
Yeah, because it was the cheapest version of it. I think it's 90.
Yeah, that's 98. Now. So yeah. I mean that's 12 points more.
I mean, that's the Inferno squad is just too expensive too. But that's different.
I think so too.
Altogether, I just like in that slot, like you probably still just want Death Troopers, right? Like
Death
if
Troopers,
you're gonna take that,
yeah. So like a Death Trooper with a heavy, if you're taking DTF 16, that is 81, which is obviously like less offense. If you're taking the DLT, that's 94.
Yeah.
So you end up with like ISF being sort of like halfway in between those, but DTS-16 gives you compel, which is not nothing. You can also put Agent Callus in a Death Trooper. I'm not sure if that works all that well. They're not going to have the aims to give them a long shot, but yeah, I feel like they're getting close. I think if they were like 82, then you would see them peppered in more or less as just like sort of a random toss in. But it's sort of funny, like Hercules. Do you remember a time when ISF were a thing that you saw, like a generic ISF outside of an item list?
Outside of an item list?
Yeah.
No, never that I can think
that's
of.
never been a thing, right?
Right. Yeah,
Like they were the tactical strike guys.
It was the tactical strike list. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I could maybe see one Imperial Special Forces as a one of in some lists.
Yeah.
Infiltrate is really strong. But without aim backup, which is hard to get to these guys without item.
You can get with Strike Team Leader. You can get as a ×1. You can have Strike Team Leader on like Callus Operative. But
is that worth
even then, like you compare that to Strike Team Leader going to a Death Trooper where you're getting four rerolls out of it.
Yeah.
Compared to one Marksman upgrade, like the Death Trooper sounds like a better deal.
For sure. 100%.
So yeah, we'll see. Remnant good. It was already good. So if I had to like make my best guess, then that's going to be sort of the top Empire list going forward. But we will have to see. Republic. We've actually honestly gone over the majority of the Republic changes already, Mike, because we already knew about the Marksman thing. Hercules, to catch you up, the Marksman points changed before the Marksman was even released. So that was a new one. I very much appreciate AMG doing that.
Hey, props on them for being, reactive.
Proactive.
Proactive, yeah, is the correct word, I guess, there. And 20 points is a lot, too. That's.
It was dead on arrival if they didn't do that.
Was this a situation like where they probably should have done something like this to riot troopers, and maybe they saw this, the impending takes, and they were like, you know what? Do we need Riot Troopers 2.0 where this unit is obviously ridiculously too expensive when it comes out?
I certainly said literally a year ago, I remember this, is that I was like, come on, AMG, cut the points to Riot Troopers before they even come out.
Yeah.
I dare you to.
I think that there's like a pretty major difference here in that, like, we have, a major difference and also not a major difference, I guess, but like, we know that super squads were like just way overcosted from experience, right? We didn't really have a riot control thing to see live in the environment for a year before riot control came out, right?
So whereas we did have shore trooper supers, which are relatively similar in concept to this, right? Like prepared positions, bunch of dice, bunch of health, red saves.
Yeah.
Like those went down anyway. And so this is something that we had talked about like a few months ago, is that we were sort of anticipating that the marksmen were probably like sent to the printer thinking about shore troopers the way they were thought about when the 2.6 first came out. And so we were worried that they were going to have to like wait 6 months to get the points decrease that we knew that they were going to need anyway. So yeah, major props to them for just like getting ahead of the game in that sense. And then on top of that, the regular clone infantry super squad, which did already see some play, funny enough, went down by 3. Probably most relevant for the 5 shotgun super is maybe the most common reason to do that. The 5 shotgun super, I don't know if you'd agree with this, Mike. Like that's sort of one of the few units that still gets like a major benefit from Yoda's relentless command in this day and age.
Yeah, I think I don't even think you need to take 5s to really make that work, but it certainly makes it a lot better.
Yeah, like any shotgun super becomes like decently scary with relentless when it can just like double move in there and do a very big shot. So, but yeah, that's it for Republic. I think that what AMG would say which and this part is accurate, is that from a raw faction win percentage, is that Republic was on the curve. Is that it was doing like 49% ish, like as a faction. So functionally average. But what Mike would say is what? Go ahead, Mike.
I am encouraged by our conversation with AMG last
Okay,
week.
there you go.
That it is at least on their radar that the internal balance of the faction it's been thrown to the wolves
Arcs.
thus far. Yes.
You like arcs?
I mean,
I wasn't willing to say it with them because I still think arcs are pretty good, but I'm even really not on the arc trade anymore. I think arcs are.
Oh man,
yeah.
The comments are just going
blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
Who are you?
I know. I mean, I don't. I've stopped putting arcs in all my lists. They are not. When I can take 9 marksmen for 103 and 5 arcs for 90, like neither of them come with their own surge tokens. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a interesting question to pose. I don't know. Again, obviously arcs have additional utility, but they still can't shoot things until they get to range 2, man. Like those units are throwing the same pools basically.
I feel like they're being kept afloat by the efficacy of the medic unit is still very much there.
Sure. Yeah. The medic has additional utility, but I don't know. I have lost too many Legion games at this point, which is to say, like 4. Due to arcs just not cutting the mustard. I just like the reason that I lost those games is because arcs ended up dead and like they couldn't engage properly, right? I don't know. So, anywho, that's my spiel.
Mike, are you still? You're literally still reeling a little bit from when I killed your arcs like 3.5 years ago in a different version of the game.
I thought didn't I put was that I thought didn't I put a
no that was your 5 at first list, and it was like a full unit of arcs that I sent some speeder bikes at. I remember you telling me a little while ago, I was like, I still think about that unit.
I do think about that unit. I just want to put sniper rifles back in my arcs, man. Like that was so
I would love
cool.
that too.
It was so awesome to have sniper rifles in all my arc units and
sniper rifles in any unit, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to harp on it too much, but
yeah.
I obviously the lack of changes to what I would consider the internal balance of clones here, I think. And basically, they said they're looking at it and they said basically they didn't have time to do anything about it this time, which, okay, I guess. I don't know if I'm in love with that answer, but it's at least acceptable.
We're gonna talk about that just generally when we get to the end of this. But Hercules, what are your thoughts on? Obviously, not that much change. So, like, do you have any? You used to be a clone player yourself, like.
I've been an everything player. There was a long time period, more recently when I was a clone player, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Republic has always had poor internal balance.
Yeah.
The units
goes
that
back
kind
to the
of
FFG era for sure.
Yeah, the units that make up that, silo have kind of changed over time, but it's just a really difficult faction. I mean, in any faction where token sharing is like a thing that you just do kind of normally, I feel like you're always going to have issues like that because since you can funnel your actions from one unit to another, basically, like that's going to incentivize you to take the most efficient units, right? So
I definitely agree in concept. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
They have taken that concept and given it to everyone else too.
Sure. Yes. I mean, we just talked about how Republic used to be the only faction with Exemplar. Now it's the only one without Exemplar, right?
And like Separatist lists are sharing more tokens than Republic lists now, right? So like this idea that like clones have to be more expensive because they're sharing tokens. Like why are the Separatists not paying more, points for their units because they're sharing tokens. Like the idea that I have to pay more for an arc because it could get a surge token, which are scarce and rare as hell.
Oh, no. We really got Mike going about surge tokens.
And meanwhile, separatists are over there being like, it's top of turn. I've got 8 aims and 8 dodges. You know, like, must be nice.
I mean, like what strikes me too about this points list, seeing this presentation, obviously not all these units have green arrows or any arrows, right? Like, so some of these are from the last points adjustment.
Yeah, all these were decreases in the last points adjustment.
Right. But still, like, this is still a really short list.
Yeah.
You know, compared to the other factions, right? Like, if you just look at the whole thing, there's only, 7, I guess there's 9 units on here. But
this PDF doesn't account for the very first points change, which was when Anakin commandos and arcs got like rocketed through the roof
fair.
because of how much they were dominating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't tell the full story of like Republic in New Legion, but yeah, in this calendar year there has not been a lot of change.
Yeah, and I don't think the inherent challenge of having a token sharing faction as like an identity should deter them from trying to balance it internally. Like, there have been times in the game when it's been reasonable, but it definitely is. It's a very like it's like a seesaw, and you step just one foot in one direction or the other, and suddenly like you fall off, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I still love my clones. I think they're my best looking army that I have painted. I'm always looking for an excuse to play clones, but let's just say that at that tournament that I've signed up for in January, I'm not going to play clones. So
no, man, shocking.
He's a prophet of the Techno Force.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in just a second. I'm gonna briefly say that we'll just see what happens with Wookiees. There's nothing else to say about it.
I love me some Wookiees too.
It's been covered. We'll just have to see where they end up.
I actually want to talk about that for a second.
Mike, you're dragging me in.
I do want to talk about it because they basically were like, we're gonna start with points changes, and I'm not sure that there's a points adjustment you can make to that unit outside of being like, oh, now this unit is an auto take, that makes it competitive and not busted.
Yep. I mean, they don't have to, like I said before, they don't have to change the card. They can make Wookiee Trooper mean something in the rulebook because it's actually like literally right there.
Yeah.
If they want to do a blanket buff to them. And because like basically what they've said in the past is that number one thing, the lowest threshold is a points change. The second lowest threshold is a keyword change. And then like the highest threshold is actually changing the unit card because, they rightfully are concerned about players who are not terminally online, like being sort of confused about the stuff that they get with unit cards. So I do totally get that. But I mean, with most units, a keyword change is like not really an option to affect a group of units like this. But here it's right there, right? Like there's not that many Wookiee Trooper units in the game, and Rebel Chewie doesn't even get played all that much anyway. It's not like he's terrible or anything, but they just usually use their mercenary options instead in that slot. And so, just like give him something, like Spur. Why don't just give him Spur?
What about like, because I saw this on the Cassian card and it seems super interesting to me. If you make it so that basically as they degrade, they still retain dice. You could do that for wound tokens on characters, and you could do it for missing miniatures on the.
I would love that.
That would be very
tenacity.
right. That'd be very Wookiee too. Wookiee themed. Yeah. So consider that.
Make
AMG.
one Wookiee feel like 100. Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Cool. So that's Gar, and then we have the. It's funny that the tiniest piece of this PDF is the separatist piece.
It's insane.
They're fine. Everything's fine.
And
it's fine.
And that it actually, for this change, the winningest faction, which I think like sort of it crossed the finish line at 57%, which is off the curve. Even the curve identified by AMG, which they consider to be a plus or minus like 5. It was even off of that. is that so Aquas went up by 13. That's been well covered already since it was like the thing that was relevant to my list. Also, AAT is down by 15. And the RPS Magna Guard down by 8 to bring it to a more sensible, but still probably not being taken 32 points for the RPS Magna, given the fact that the cover changes made the RPS Magna a lot less valuable than it used to be back in the day when it was like a way to just get free hits at range 4. Now a regular gun gets you free hits at range 4, so you don't need that critical one anymore.
Yeah.
But so Hercules, tell me why it is that is it the Windy City Open? Is that what it's called?
Yes, the Windy City Open. I'm in Chicago now, by the way, for those that are curious.
Yeah.
One of the things that has changed over the past year. But yeah, the Windy City Open is the one I'm going to. And I will be probably bringing Separatists, unless I've become, over the course of this conversation, intrigued by Remnant a little bit, because I've had my Dark Troopers for a long time and I've never played them in a tournament.
Okay.
So we might explore that a little bit too. But
Yeah.
this was definitely I already have a ton of droid units. I was a droid player for a long time. It would not be hard at all. The only thing really I need is the Aqua Droids and Grievous. I've, in fact, the most recent Legion tournament I played droids. That was
You did like a B2 spam, right?
yes, it was B2s, Magnas, and Grievous, and it was good enough to get me to like the final day, but it wasn't,
Was that Nova?
It was Nova.
I think it was.
Yeah,
I think it was Nova. Yeah,
it was more than a year ago.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's not just that it's obviously a solid faction, but it's one that I enjoy playing, have played recently, and already have nearly all of the things painted that I would already need to have to run a good list. It's all of those things. But yeah, I mean, I've always liked droids, and they're super good right now. So
They're really good. So I guess, Mike, I'm curious, in the perfect Mike points change world, which is obviously like the correct one, right? Like what would you?
I'm glad we're all on the same ship together.
What would you have done? What would you have done with Separatist points, realistically? Because I think this is an interesting question about, again, the winningest faction by a pretty decent margin in the game right now.
So, I mean, I don't hate. I'm actually, I think, a lot less upset about the Separatist changes than other people. I think that this is pretty close to what I would have done. I think
Okay.
the factions that are not winning as much, I think, should get bumps. I think Aqua's going up 13. I'm not sure if it's like enough in my mind. I guess time will tell. I do think that is the problem unit, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was
the
the problem,
issue, right?
Yeah.
Is 13 points more expensive? I mean, the unit's still like what, 104 or something with the heavy? Is it 104? I think it's 104. Might be 103.
It's 106 with the heavy, 111
106.
with LTA and the heavy.
Sure.
Yeah.
So like 111 is still, for what you're getting, as far as like the screen goes, it's still a very cheap unit. So I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about these. I like that the AAT went down. I know that I've heard a lot of rumblings that people are upset about that, but I
think it needed to go down. The world is strange when the AT went down by 10 points more than any Gav did. Right?
I definitely agree there. I think that this change is less about the AAT and more about the Aquas. And I think you need to frame this not you, but like we need to frame this picture differently.
Yeah,
you people need to frame this picture differently. And that this change is more about making the AAT a more competitive choice against the Aqua droids specifically.
Sure, that's fair.
And like at 165 to like 106 or 111, it's just not a choice.
Yeah.
You know,
That's fair.
I'm still not sure it is, but it's more of a choice now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've never been frightened by an AAT in New Legion. You know, I know that our friends across the pond have been playing them more than we do here in North America at a bare minimum. But you know, I have fear has yet to be put in my heart from that battle tank. Maybe that'll change. I don't know. But I agree. Like, the Gav probably should have actually got a like reduction on its chassis if we're gonna hand it out to the AAT too.
So you're right, is that it's an internal balance thing.
But
And then, like, as far as the rest of CIS goes, is that you're also right that the Aqua was the thing that was majorly standing out. But then on top of that, like the other things that we've considered to be sort of the most exciting and also like the most really, really good for CIS were things that either just came out in terms of the generic super tax and also Wheelbike Grievous, or another piece on top of that is the fact that Sunfac got knocked down by 25 points in the last update, which like turned it made it so that just sort of like tossing in Sunfac and one naked Geo for like literally 100 points for that combination when the naked Geo is getting this direct every round, is that it's just like these two utility pieces that in an objective-based game end up being like really, really, really useful on a lot of different objectives. Like basically everything that's not bunker assault is that you're going to be able to squeeze a lot of utility out of being able to move around that much. So like that's the thing, is that realistically those things were not going to change because they either just came out or they were just changed. And the Aquas were the problem. I don't think anything else in the faction was standing out as a problem.
Well, other than the super tax, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, apart from the things that I just mentioned. So Hercules was going to ask you about this. Have you taken a peek at the Technoforce powers of the generic super tax?
Yeah, I mean, you basically took Kalani and gave him force powers, right? Like,
I'm sorry, force powers on steroids. Evan gave me a really rude wake up call the other day, and like obviously I think we've been very high on the force powers, but the man put force reflexes next to the car that has like 5 different options on limiter override, and they're the same cost,
5 points each.
Force reflexes only gives a dodge token to yourself, like like
and it's locked behind a slot that is on like 130 plus point unit instead of one that is much less than that, right?
Versus limiter override that is either take 3 suppression off or give an aim or a dodge or take an immobilized token away from any AI unit within range 2.
And then
which you probably have because of the ridiculous 3-pip that hands out like 8 tokens that you just played. Right. Yeah.
Tactical download.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. I'm convinced force push needs to come down now. I'm like straight on it. I just like you put a overclock next to force push, and I was like, you know what? These really aren't that different. Like they're inverses of each other, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I've always wanted to do? Force push my own unit.
100%.
Oh man, it's so good. Overclock is so good. You can force push an AET if you want to, man. You can force push it at speed 2 move. Usually you're still doing it with Aqua Droids, which is good enough on its own because that's like even a bigger base.
Yep.
But most games I really only like quote needed to use overclock once when I was at Oklahoma Open in the recent GT, and it was usually like a round 2. That after the Aqua did its move shoot in the beginning of the round, is that I would save the super attack for like the end, and my opponent would have to guess about like where is this Aqua Droid actually going to be at the end of the round, because it could actually be contesting one of 2 different points that it's currently still kind of far away from. It's crazy. Overclock is nuts.
Well, and I think we gotta state here that overclock is nuts for the same reasons force push is nuts, is because it changes POI math. right? Like intrinsically,
Yeah,
it
the only bonus you get from force push is changing your own protection in terms of wrapping
Sure.
yourself around a guy.
100,
But from a POI math point, yes, it is the same.
I don't think they made force push 40 points because it was protecting Jedi.
No, I don't think so.
Like,
I
frankly,
do not think so.
I think that if that was the reason that, yeah, no, that's not it.
Yeah, interesting question. Like, where will the points meet when it comes to force push and overclock by a year from now?
Well, and I think it was really interesting because we kind of posed this question to the Wills, and their response was, well, new force powers are coming. And respectfully, I would. What about the old ones?
Yeah, there's plenty of ones we have already that could be better, right?
Yeah.
Compared to these.
Yeah, like I think you could be in the zone of actually like taking the exhaust cost away from multiple old force powers, and you would be just fine.
Make force reflexes just like top of turn dodge token,
or make then guidance top of turn surge tokens.
There you go.
Think about it.
Like I yeah, they would actually be playable and good. Like
for sure.
I don't know. Yeah.
It would feel more Jedi-ish also, because right now the Techno Force powers help your buddies more than the real Force powers do. So
yeah,
so go figure. We're going to talk about the mercenary points also. We already went over the A5 changes, and then otherwise, Cad Bane, Electric Gauntlets down by 7. There's a certain point at which like it's a 3-point upgrade. Just like make it free. But so that made the Gauntlet version of Cad Bane cheaper. The regular version is still the same cost. Gar Saxon went down by 5, and his rifle went down by 5. So now him with the rifle is 100. He is a 90 on his own. And then probably the most significant mercenary change, since it affects multiple armies, is the base cost of Yoak Slingers went up by 3 to 38, and that the Super Squad went up by 4 to 27. The Slinger Super Squad was one of the best upgrade cards in the game, especially in the Battle Force where you're fighting against not being able to take suppression tokens away, and so being able to get that super cheap Indomitable on top of being able to very cheaply get a 10 dice Relentless shot on round 1, which is exactly as many dice as an ARC Trooper throws, by the way, where it was very good. And so now functionally every Bright Tree list went up by 21 just now, and quite a few Rebel lists went up by 7. So yeah, Mike, what are your thoughts on the mercenary changes?
Yeah, I mean, basically we're talking about Cad, Gar, and Ewoks, right? So
yeah, Cad, Gar, and Ewoks. Yeah,
Gar's a little bit more playable. I wish that they were. I wish they were as aggressive with these changes as they were with like Ahsoka and Sabine. I think my biggest critique here is that like we've been talking about like we being like the community and AMG have been talking about making aggressive changes to characters, and then like the only aggressive change to characters in this entire episode is Gideon, who, you could honestly argue from a competitive standpoint didn't actually need it.
He had one Crucible a month before those changes happened.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think that I would have liked to see more aggression on Cad Bane and Gar Saxon. The way I feel about the Slingers is that I feel like they probably should have went up a couple more points. I still think that
they're still very efficient.
I still think that internal balance wise, I think the Slingers are too good for in that slot compared to whatever else you could take.
They're really only held back by their mercenariness.
Yes,
when it comes to list building.
Yeah, particularly now with Sleeper Cells at the price point they're at.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but yeah, so Hercules, we have these changes. Nothing happened to either of the Boba Fett's. Nothing happened to either of the assassin droids. I don't think that anybody was really necessarily clamoring for the non-uniques and available to Shadow Collective to change all that much at this point. Pikes had already gone down in the last update a little bit, and they made the Darksaber free in the last update. But any thoughts on this mercenary list in terms of like what we're seeing and what we don't see?
I mean, I'd love to see some bounty hunter cuts. You know, I feel like in some ways they're still a little bit of a relic of before 2.6. You know,
Yeah.
the old objective system, like Cad Bane obviously is on here. He's kind of the poster boy for, you know, somebody who's good at the things that require you to grab stuff and move them around the table, which is not really, you know, in a POI world, just not something that Cad Bane does.
Right.
And the same can be true of Boba Fett. You know, the other bounty hunters too, where you talk about the bounty keyword on tipping those tight margins. You know, I feel like that's still a relic of pre 2.6. So, you know, I love the bounty hunters. I've loved playing them at various points in this game. So I would have loved to see
Yep.
them either go down or have their role changed somehow. But yeah, this definitely doesn't do it for me in that respect. Unfortunately, I feel like there's still a relic of old Legacy Legion.
Yeah, I think so too. And just overall, I think this is like a good way to sort of tie the whole thing up. Is it does feel like the last points adjustment felt more. I mean, it was more aggressive. That's just like really the way to sum it up. So many characters went down, and then also a bunch of other non-uniques went down. And I think that the community reaction to that was certainly way more positive than it was to the post-Adepticon changes, which it's like hard to remember exactly what changed aside from the weird range troopers going up and then Din Djarin getting like slightly cheaper, I think was like the other major thing that happened. But that was when all like the rest of the print and play stuff came out anyway, and so there wasn't a ton of changes generally. But you know, only a couple months after that, we got those June changes that were very well received, and then we had these changes that were like in between those in terms of aggressiveness. Like obviously, there's lots of units that changed, but just like you said, Mike, when you think about the fact that Gideon went down by more than either of the Inquisitors,
It's just like I know that like I was a little memey in our pre-point show and being like the Inquisitors come down 40 points each.
Yeah, Mike said that I think fifth brother down by 35 is what you said, or seventh sister.
But I honestly was not really joking. Like obviously that was very aggressive, right? But like I definitely think that and I got this vibe when we were talking to them. I think they're a little bit too caught up in being right, like getting it right. That like I would much rather have them go aggressive with a points cut and have to reel it back than have to go through 4 iterations of dropping the sniper points cost 3 points.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That's my opinion, I guess. They can do it however they want, obviously, but I definitely think that, you know, there's also just something to be said for like not changing too much all at once. But I'm not really sure. To me, like if we're wrapping up all of these changes in a bow and like trying to like say what this changes, outside of making Remnant better, I'm not really sure what this adjustment did.
It made list building for CIS more varied.
Sure, you have to find 26 points.
Yeah,
yeah, sure. Like which is obviously not nothing, but I mean, from like a big picture thing, like I'm not sure how much that really changes about CIS list building. Like I think that those lists will, you know, drop their B1 or drop a couple upgrades or whatever. Like Evan, you've already figured it out, right?
Yeah, I only dropped upgrades. I didn't have to, and then I changed one geo, so I still have one regular geo and one Sunfac. That changed the other one to a B1 to make it a little bit cheaper. But then I just got rid of upgrades, and the list still functions as intended.
Yeah, and it's really not that different.
We're good to go, baby.
Right? It's really not that different.
It works the same.
And so, like, if we're looking at separatist lists, like I just don't think a 26 point tax on a separatist list is really going to change much in the way of win percentages. God Scar win percentage probably not going to change from points adjustments. Marksman maybe. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think, again, I don't think Empire win percentages are really going to change from the adjustments that were put down here. Remnant is probably going to win more.
But most Empire lists, like the vast majority, are not going to be Remnant, right? I mean, that's just how things work. Is that people like to take a variety of stuff, and Remnant is pretty limiting as far as list building goes.
Yeah.
And so the non-Remnant lists, I feel like their biggest bonus so far for like this half of the year has been the customizable release with specifically command control array.
Yes.
And then, having some decent tech that they can do with those various customizable commanders and operatives to make a list like a little bit less squeaky. But yeah, I agree that I would not be shocked if like that win percentage graph ends up being the same place that it is now once we get to Adepticon.
Yeah. I mean, the new objective maybe will change things because it's just like unsolved or whatever. That assumes that people put it in their lists, right? Because if people don't put it in their lists, it won't change anything. But but yeah, I don't know. This update feels a little weird to me, just from like it's a thing that happened, I guess. And that's fine.
Yeah. Like several little things, right? Like, one new battle card each.
Oh, sorry. I was talking specifically about the points. Like the battle cards and stuff are obviously great.
Yeah, the points themselves. It feels different from June, where like June opened up like entire new lists, especially like when Riot Controls got that much cheaper, and when Sunfac got that much cheaper, Ahsoka and Sabine getting that much cheaper. Like the June update made new lists possible, to an extent that I think this one, at least so far, doesn't. But we will have to see. All right, I think I want to quickly just maybe we can one each. So Hercules, have you gotten a chance to look over the like upcoming Legion releases?
Yes. I mean, I think I'm most excited about the Imperial High Command stuff, just because I've always liked playing Empire, and this more than anything else feels like it actually could, finally get Empire back in the Empire doesn't suck conversation.
Mm-hmm. I think those are the greenest pastures up ahead is this high command box. I agree.
I mean, there's not a lot here to go on other than unit cards and a couple command cards, but I mean, there's 4 models in this box, and what we can see so far looks pretty good. So, I don't know. I'm encouraged.
Tarkin or Thrawn, which is the one that sort of like piques your interest the most between those two?
Well, I mean, pulling the strings on what is probably going to be a support commander priced unit, on generic Empire Trooper unit seems like it has a lot of potential play.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you're probably doing that with like a super short unit, but you could also do this on Dark Troopers. There's some possibilities, and it's just really a flexible ability. So Tarkin, even though he has a very limited amount of text on his unit card, certainly looks like he could be pretty strong. Did they talk about what Thrawn's keyword one step ahead does at all?
Yes, we know what that does. If you play a command card that is the same pip value as your opponent, you can move anybody in your army speed 1, like during the command step. If it's different, you can only move Thrawn in this example. Lando has it as well.
Free move every round, and if you tie, then you get to pick whoever. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, so you pick one unit to do it with, and then you just do it every round.
If you match.
If you tie, yeah.
You don't have to pick it ahead of time. You
sometimes
when you tie, you get to pick the unit.
I see. And he obviously
Thrawn,
he has cunning.
You're very much trying to tie, right?
Yeah.
Lando doesn't have cunning, so like with Lando's thing is that he has he can change things. A couple of his command cards like give him flexibility to like switch him out. Thrawn may not necessarily have some of that, but he has cunning, so ties are very good for Thrawn.
My Jedi Knight General Salira Sayal has one step ahead now, and it's very good.
Pretty good, huh?
It's very good.
Tours of duty.
Yeah.
And then interesting that like both of these guys have divulged stuff. The Thrawn one is very much the like, hey, that Kalani 3 pip is pretty good. Let's just give it to Thrawn. Yeah. And it is a very good divulge. So sure, why not? And then giving demoralize to potentially like many units in your army for the entire game seems potentially kind of crazy.
Do you think you actually divulged Thrawn's card?
I would probably keep it for the free
because it's permanent
action.
like what's the Asajj's card, so like when you play that, it stays face up on the table when you divulge it.
Sorry, are you talking about Tarkin's divulge or Thrawn's divulge?
Thrawn's divulge, where like you can discard it to like standby.
So if you divulge it, you can then later discard it?
No, what I'm saying is if you divulge it, it's permanent. And that is what happens with Asajj's card. It hits the table and it's face up and it effectively comes out of your hand.
So
no, you're just showing it.
No, permanent means it stays in play.
Yeah, that's different language than Kalani's.
Yeah, you're right. That is different language than the Kalani one.
Yeah, permanent, I'm pretty sure, is like the wording that is on Asajj's card. Asajj's card might not actually have permanent on it, but I'm pretty sure that it may have been like written like pre-permanent.
But I'm wondering if like would you still be able to discard it if it's in play, like for the effect on the bottom side of the card?
I don't think so. And Asajj's does have permanent, and when it has permanent, it's not in your command hand anymore.
Oh, interesting.
It's like face up, like in the play space.
Basically. So basically, the situation may be that you have to choose between divulging or doing the discard effect.
Yeah, because like when you play Asajj's card, like you can't play that for orders anymore. Like it's not a card you can like. Obviously, it doesn't give orders, but you can't.
It wouldn't
play
do anything anyway.
Right? Like you can't play it normally. Like it's not playable.
You wouldn't be able to use it to get like priority over standing orders or anything.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty limited value.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Both effects are good. I'm just like,
but like getting a free attack is
it's like way better.
Going to be better than getting reinforcements on free.
It's sort of on demand, like when you most need a free attack, right?
Yeah.
It's like a free attack probably on your best unit too.
Right, and it's just like with pulling the strings is that with the Super Squad thing, there's potential for that free attack to be a lot of dice, and so. And then even with Tarkin, we can even see that like the other card, I see like the words divulge and permanent. And
Vader.
Yeah, that's right. You can see that too, and he has entourage Darth Vader. So that's gonna be interesting. Like, is there going to be a sort of a version of like Super Vader when you run him with Tarkin?
I'd be all for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
he would be.
Darth Vader is a eligible target for pulling the strings for Imperial Trooper.
Yeah, that is very accurate.
That's a lot less interesting though. That doesn't work with Relentless, which I know is an old change at this point. Old wounds.
Oh man,
but yeah,
reset the clock.
No, I mean it's still a great ability on Vader for sure.
Yeah. Mike, what upcoming release are you most excited about? And we talked about this a little bit last time, but
I'm going to surprise everybody here with the WK Pirates Trooper unit.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
So that I can have my all-charge army, you know? I can have my 5s unit, my Ahsoka unit, my one random Republic Corps unit that doesn't have charge, and then a bunch of weak way pirates in the core slot to go alongside my arcs. And I bet you these guys are like 50 points cheaper than the arcs, and they have independent aim, and they throw 2 dice at range 2, so they're probably going to do more damage to my arcs too. So,
and it looks like their Super Squad is going to be an additional 4 guys So it would be like the B1s or no, it's I forget if there's any others that are like the same as the base size. But
I'm hesitant to go off the pictures on this one, but I agree that if you go by the pictures, that is what it seems like.
I mean, it would align with what the Ewoks get, where they get an additional 4.
I just like
Super Squad.
one of those 8 guys in that picture has a heavy weapon though, so like
there's definitely a dude with a long rifle of some kind,
which like based on like picture math means the Super Squad's only 3 dudes, which seems unlikely to me.
At which point maybe it's like a duo, sort of like the ARF Trooper thing or something like that.
I think it's more likely that there's just like additional duplicate sculpts they didn't show here.
Yeah, could be.
But
I mean, they did say like on our very first interview that the Weequay Super Squad was actually the first one that they made for the game, and that that was actually the original inspiration for changing the cover rules. So it's sort of like an interesting thing that this unit has actually been sitting on the shelf, so to speak, for years, but that they decided to push it back until after the cover change because of the Super Squad. Now, doing a black and a white at range 2, it's literally the same as Geos, which have a Super Squad with even more dice than this.
But it's versatile.
It is versatile.
Out of melee. So I have a question.
Like that is pretty nice.
I actually don't know the answer to this because I didn't bother to look it up yet. But like, if you trigger charge, can you then shoot out of the melee?
I think this has come up with somebody else before, and I'm gonna be verifying this right now, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you have to make a free attack action against the unit using only melee weapons.
Okay.
And it has to be the unit that you engage with as a part of the movement. So,
okay.
So short answer, you would not be able to versatile out of a charge.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe you could like fulfill the requirement by
that would be sick. That would be sick as
vibroblading like
hell.
one guy and
Yeah.
then splitting all the blasters into like another unit or whatever. I still think that this, assuming that the Weequay pirates are costed like fleet troopers, which I think is kind of what they look like to me, at least on paper. I might take these in my Republic list.
I think that these are going to go potentially in like lists in every faction except maybe Weirdly Rebels because of the fleet trooper thing.
Yeah. They also I think almost certainly have to have like a +1 courage upgrade because they've got self-preservation. Man, I just wish they would delete that keyword. It's so bad in the new version of Legion.
Yeah, it made sense when the Shadow Collective was first a thing, but now it's like a death sentence.
Yeah. So, but like I'm imagining a situation where I've got like 3 of these in my Yoda list. I play Luminous, and I've just got an extra 3 aims because Yoda can't issue them orders, but I still have complete order control.
The idea of playing Yoda with allies convenience is an interesting one. Or Underworld Connections, I should say.
No, you wouldn't play Underworld Connections. You just take 2 Weequays, and you don't on Luminous. You just don't get the orders to them, and you'd get the aim tokens anyways.
Right. You could have a different commander if you want to take 3 Weequays, but otherwise you would baseline only be able to take 2.
Yeah, I mean you could put Underworld Connections on Padme, right? No big
that's true. That's true, actually.
Yeah, seems appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. And then we of course don't know what the swashbuckler keyword does, so that's like on top of the points and the upgrades situation. We don't know whether is that a good thing or a bad thing. My guess would actually be is that it's some sort of a token steal mechanic,
that would be
which
fun.
would be very good.
Yeah. Do we know
like when they activate, they maybe get to. You would have to make it when they activate, not beginning of the round, because that would be nuts. But that maybe they would be able to take a token away from a engaged enemy unit.
Pay your opponent 1 Dorito. Take 1 search token.
Make sure you touch their miniatures after you give them the Dorito. Get those Dorito Cheeto bits on the table.
You're sounding more like a professional Legion player. Hercules.
Yeah. Do we know what my mood is based on profit does? I assume it has something to do with all the X's on Hondo's card.
It makes it so that anything X is the pippage of the command that you issued that round.
Ah, Okay. So the more pips, the stronger his various keywords are.
Correct.
Yes, he's actually completely legal to play right now because he was released in promos
Pre-release
alongside the
bonus.
starter sets. I have one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's and Mike's played with him a little bit. He's like not bad. He's sort of interesting.
I think the most
I think
interesting
he'll
thing
blossom
you
more
can,
once we have these guys.
yeah, the most interesting thing you can do with him is like tar pit Jedi with him and just keep playing standing orders. So he's got 4 dodge tokens every turn. He's got disengage, so like you know you can just like bounce from Jedi to Jedi after they activate and keep him tar pitted. And
That's kind of on theme too with what he does in the various TV shows. He just keeps the Jedi characters occupied with his shenanigans.
Occupied and annoyed with him. Yeah. That's pretty much what he does. I've already talked about how excited I am about Trench, even though we didn't get to see any cards for him. But
not the wheel bikes, my man.
But I'm gonna mention the wheel bikes since that's like the most relevant to the cheating list that I'm playing right now. Is with these, boy, it sure. So there's a couple of things of note. One is that to make sure people notice this, if you look at this and see 3 health, you do get 2 minis per unit. And then the other thing is that this is the first vehicle that is a special forces.
Yeah.
AMG has obviously been playing around with the meaning of various slots quite a bit.
So you could take
we just got
steps at the same time.
Yeah, you can. So it would mean that in theory, in order to you can still meet your minimum requirements if you did like wheel by Grievous, 3 B1s, and then 2 aquas, 3 of these wheel bikes, and then 3 staffs. You would have some points left over almost certainly after all that, and then you would be in the zone of having a 9 vehicle list.
Yeah,
is that really right?
That sounds fantastic.
I'm not sure you're going to be able to do that. The profile on these guys say to me that
what do you think they're going to cost, Mike?
I think they're going to. I think they should probably cost about 100.
I think they're going to cost 80.
If they're cracked, if they're 80. I'm just going to toss that out there. This is like let's just for a moment.
Sure.
This is a speeder bike that has 6 health, red saves.
Yes.
That presently does not exist. That closest thing you got is a bark. Additionally, this thing can attack.
Armor.
And it's got armor 1 instead of cover 1, which is way better. By a lot.
Yeah, because it's what cover 1 used to do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And these guys probably throw 10 dice a turn.
I mean, they're basically red save swoops with old school cover 1, right?
I think these attacks are way better than swoops. At least the overrun is, right?
The swoop
three surging black, 6 surging black,
that's better than the swoop. Yes,
but
the swoop gets to do it twice.
So
does
yeah.
I mean,
this is way better.
just so we're completely clear here. If you overrun 2 with these guys, that is the stab attack.
So I'm gonna admit something to the listeners and viewers. I saw this, and I saw the fact that there were 2 minis in the unit, and I saw the dice. My mind literally closed the gap and said, "Well, obviously this is overrun 1," and I literally didn't even look at the bottom part of that weapon. Holy crap, Mike! This is overrun 2.
Yeah, this unit's got to be 100 points.
Would be cracked at 80 points.
If it's not 100 points, it's gonna be it's just gonna be Aqua 2.0.
Man, that's the thing is that if it is 100 points,
I understand what you're saying.
Where it becomes a really big target.
I agree. I'm not saying that it's not. It's in a very weird spot. I think at that juncture.
Yeah.
But I mean,
we also don't know what the Magna upgrade does, because basically what they said is that you're always getting 2 minis, but that there's an upgrade card that basically turns 1 mini or maybe even both into a Magna, which presumably would change the overrun weapon.
He has an electro staff in his hand. So
right, exactly.
Yeah. Also looks badass.
Yeah, it looks
no,
great. Like,
I think they look great.
The models are amazing.
Look, I'm all. I think they're really cool. I think they're awesome. I definitely am like really wary of like, of like, I don't know, like having a bunch of, basically mini Grievuses running around, for. I mean, like even at 100 points, they're 40 points less than Grievous, and Grievous does not need his command cards. And they're really not.
Well, he needs one.
I think need is also like not really. I think even a fair. I mean, it's obviously very good on him, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think if you had to never play Jedi Arts, I think you could get away with it.
It's tough. I think I still would have played the list that I played, even if I didn't have Jedi Arts.
That's sort of what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I it's great that you do have it, right? It obviously makes it much better.
It's great.
But yeah, I don't know.
Mike, I just want to fill you in. I've messed around with some points. We have Grievous with up close and recon. We have 3 naked B1s.
Yeah.
We have 3 Staps with LTA on all 3 of them. And we have 2 heavy aquas. That is 611 points and 8 activations as a starting point. So let's just for funsies, we can toss in like, even if we assumed that like a Magna Timu was 110 or something.
Yeah, you still have like 50, 60 points left over.
You still have, like, you can still toss Sunfac in there or something. And then you would have 8 vehicles
8
with 12 activations.
Oh, because you get an extra.
I'm sorry, I messed up. So
you got to take 4 of these.
It's not quite that bad. I had left out 1 Aqua Dread out of that. So
okay.
You would end up with 9 vehicles, but where you are after all that is you're at 717. So if you did all that, then realistically, if these are 80 points, then we're back in the super cracked zone. If they're 100, then you're only going to be fitting 2 of them in. I do feel like there's going to be a really good argument, because Grievous has Entourage, for doing it like at least 1.
Yeah.
To be able to deploy him alongside Grievous as just like an extra threat on their weak flank.
It does mess with your order chain.
No, it
doesn't. No, it doesn't, because he's got Entourage.
Sort of.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, he has Entourage, right?
Yeah,
so like, if you're
fine.
just doing it as a ×1, then like you're cooking. So I don't know. So yeah, it's not quite as bad as I first thought. Like, I was really getting worried when I was thinking that you would have all that for 616, but that's still, even if you added 2 Timus on top of that and then something else, then you would be at 12 activations with 8 vehicles. Or, I mean, man, it's.
I also think there's a world where you take the Staps out.
Yeah, potentially. Or and then you could just do Decas instead, because that's going to be cheaper for you if you want to squeeze some stuff in. Or you could just do some kind of core thing instead. But like, vehicles are just so good on so many objectives, because they can't panic. And so like, when you're multiplying that, this list would be sort of hilarious on Bring Them to Heal, because you would be hiding 1 B1 like it was nobody's business, to keep you from having all units with 1 suppression token. But then for everything else, it would be really hard to like lose that turn by turn suppression war, because you will only have 3 units that can even get 1. It's kind of wild. And then all that aside, there's going to be some kind of battle force that they've talked about. So we don't even know what kind of cheating that's going to enable.
Everybody, Grievous gets overclock.
This is going to be crazy.
Techno force powers for the wheelbike warlord.
So there's a wheelbike battle force?
There's going to be a wheelbike battle force.
There's a wheelbike battle force coming.
Yeah. I think you might end up playing that, Hercules, once we find out what's in it. I think it would be a list that's very much your alley. So let's let's tie things up. Obviously, there's other unrevealed units. I think we'll talk about those more and more either as time goes on or when we find out the points. But just wanted to at least hit the things we're most excited about. We're going to end with a segment that's become a regular on Notorious Scoundrels Hercules. It's called C3LP, which is the droid acronym for Clanker Content Creation for Lazy Podcasters. This is us using ChatGPT in the way that it's meant to be used and the way that it should be used, which is to both lambast and also scare people about language learning models. So, and then we just sort of exploit it. I've been encouraging Mike to we turned on memory for this chat because I want it to remember its mistakes. I've also encouraged Mike to actively be rude to it because there's actually some data that makes LLMs better at giving you accurate answers when you are mean to them versus when you are nice to them. I posted that link, the link to that article a couple episodes ago. And I should also mention briefly that it's gone out of its way to like say mean things about Wookiees and nice things about droids, which has me like extra concerned about the whole AI situation that's going on here. But Mike, we basically just ask it to give us a random unit to talk about every month, and we also see how wrong it is about what that unit does. So what do we have this week, Mike?
So I changed the criteria a little bit today.
Oh, what did you change? Yeah,
I changed it to what unit do you think Hercules Rockefeller would like to talk about today?
Did you give it any parameters about my preferences?
What context does it have about Hercules?
Well, let's talk about that. I'm just going to give you its answer, and I think it will speak for itself. I think it will stand on its own merit. So I'm going to read verbatim here from C3LP. Hercules Rockefeller sounds like the kind of person who would appreciate prestige, style, legacy, and expensive taste. So I believe there is only one Star Wars Legion unit he would absolutely love to discuss. Does anybody want to take a guess?
Prestige, expensive taste.
I feel like the Aquadroid is too new to be in ChatGPT.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Palpatine.
Evan?
Probably Palpatine or Dooku. What do we got?
You guys are much closer than you think. Imperial Royal Guard, the Galactic Empire Special Forces, the most luxurious bodyguards in the galaxy. Why would Hercules Rockefeller love them? Well, only the Emperor can afford them. They define elite. They have iconic red robes, the pinnacle of Menace Couture.
Menace Couture.
They appear rarely. I suspect it doesn't know how rarely.
They're very, very rare now.
Extremely rare. Yeah.
And when they do, history trembles. They don't work for you. They serve destiny.
I'm not sure I've ever heard Imperial Royal Guard described as luxurious. That's a new one.
They aren't just bodyguards. They're an investment in fear. If you target the Emperor, you're not fighting him, you're fighting the price of your audacity.
I'm so angry right now.
It's fantastic.
True power does not shout. It enters the room quietly, just like Hercules Rockefeller would.
AI is truly the bane of existence, as far as I'm concerned. Well, Hercules, what do you think? Does that unit sound like something you'd be interested in?
It sounds like something I loved to play when they still existed in the game.
I love that C3LP just like fed into every wonderful aspect about like that we've been literally sort of trying to. At least I've been trying to do like a little bit of like public education about the nature of these chatbots and like what they do, which is it seems to really like to add this creepy marketing language into all of these, like to be like, wow, this like fearsome Sorry, what was the last thing it said about the rail guards? What, a fear? Like a paragon of fear?
An investment in
they aren't just bodyguards, they're an investment in fear. I also they have Guardian too. They'll throw themselves in front of blaster fire for your VIP. They have charge.
Okay, that's
move, then immediately attack. No wasted motion. Discipline 2. They recover suppression and stay composed under fire. They also have immune pierce. Lightsabers? Snipers? How quaint.
Nope. Yeah, this is the other thing we've really been enjoying Hercules is like that it'll always get something wrong when it describes the unit. Yeah. We've also been openly wondering like how much of its description of these is like semi based on blog articles that you wrote back in the day.
Yep.
Probably like a good portion of it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Probably a significant portion. Like there's, I mean, Fifth Trooper has put out so many blog articles about Legion relative to all of the articles that are out there about Legion that it's probably a big part of the sample size. So,
yeah. So
I have a question. I have one more question. C3LP would like to know if you would like a full Hercules Rockefeller Royal Guard list.
Is it just 0 out of 1,000 points?
I have no idea. I haven't said yes yet.
I mean, I'm curious what it comes up with.
So this is another example of where the chatbots make some mistakes when we've asked it to do a list once before.
I mean, I remember ages ago at this point, we had that article concept where like I gave you and the AI was like a topic and then you were competing against each other. Yeah. And it was pretty clear that it had no idea what it was talking about.
Yeah, correct. It's still working on it.
Yeah.
Mike, how good is this list?
Well, I think this will demonstrate some things, so we'll go through it. It's not a full list, but it's the Hercules Rockefeller Royal Guard. And it's got a quote from Hercules Rockefeller underneath the title.
What?
Oh, wow. Really? Okay.
A man of wealth and culture requires protection of equal prestige.
He says that all the time.
I don't think I've ever been described as a man of wealth and culture, but
so it says this is definitely not a Legion list, but it has given us
what is it then?
A core detachment, 2 Imperial Royal Guard. Loyalty is their armor, silence is their weapon. Emperor Palpatine, the patron of power. Optional, but gentleman never denies a throne its rightful occupant.
Wow. I love how gentlemanly and sophisticated the ChatGPT is being about grabbing totalitarian power here.
Hey, it comes with the Rockefeller name.
That's right. Yeah.
It has an Imperial officer, Major Vance Tiberius, parentheses, a fictional Rockefeller appointed liaison. I love how it talks about this as like it's the only fictional thing in this list.
Are we sure that ChatGPT doesn't think we're making like a Star Wars RPG campaign with this?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It also says that we should include Clan Ren for diplomatic affairs.
What? All right. Mike, I feel like I have to stop you there.
Hold up. It gets better. For the Special Forces segment of the list, which apparently it doesn't think is the Royal Guard, and this is where C3LP has really gone off the rails. We've got ISF Special Forces, my personal invitation only regiment. Then it has 2 Magna Guards, mechanical, yes, but cultured in violence.
What?
And some BX commando droids for matters requiring elegance. And what I think is funny here is that while this is very much not a legal Legion list,
you don't say.
This is a lot of things Hercules Rockefeller, I think, would like.
These are all units that I like and have played.
Yeah, he's played them.
Yeah, not all in the same list, obviously, but yeah. Um,
Well, what do you think? You gonna play that list, Hercules?
I'm interested in the elegant violence of the Night Guard. That's yeah, I'd play it.
Mike, what? Just to recheck this, among those options, what is actually currently legal in an Empire list in Star Wars Legion?
I think Imperial Officer Major Vance Tiberius and the Imperial Special Forces.
Like ChatGPT won't even know about customizables because it was too recent and it won't be in its like knowledge base. But
Now
it accidentally came up with an accurate choice there.
Now I feel like I have to play an Imperialist so I can name one of my officers Vance Tiberius.
Tiberius. You're allowed to take them in Remnant.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, hey, maybe if C3LP leads to you like literally playing a different list at Windy City than you otherwise would have, then the content speaks for itself.
I would have more painting to do, but we'll see.
As usual, the lesson here is think before you trust AI to give you an accurate answer about anything, because it's going to be mostly focused on having an answer that looks good rather than an answer that is actually accurate. So that's your very special episode lesson that I try to give every week, because in my day job, this sort of thing like is terrifying me about what people are looking up. It's like even worse than regular Google because people trust these things. Anyway, on that happy note, Hercules, it was wonderful to have you back. I'm sure that we're going to have you back at some point to report in on how your Legion re-experience is going. But hey, yeah, like, is there anything else you wanted to say about like sort of why you're coming back at all, or what is exciting you the most about being able to do this? Are you planning on going to Adepticon? I
am planning on going to Adepticon currently. I'm much closer to it than I was previously.
Yeah,
so.
You're pretty close. You can drive there now.
Yeah, too bad it's not in Schaumburg anymore. That would I'd be able to sleep at my house. But
it's actually pretty good that it's not in Schaumburg anymore.
It's definitely it's less convenient for me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
but no, I mean Adepticon is great. Obviously they run a great convention, so yeah, I am planning on going to that. But I did want to try and do that thing in January too. I haven't played a Legion game in more than a year, so got to shake the rust off a little bit. And I don't know, I'm excited. Part of it is just like. Just logistics. I finally unpacked my airbrush like a week ago, so that's part of it. But also, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. There's a lot of exciting new things. So,
are you playing any other war games at the moment, or is this like your foray back into wargaming at all?
The short answer is no. This is my foray back into wargaming. Because all my stuff has been in boxes. So
yeah,
I had dabbled in Kill Team a little bit, early last year / late 2023. But this is the Legion tournament is going to be my first war game anything in more than a year. So.
All right. Well, just to let you know, nothing's changed, which is to say that we both expect you to win it, and anything less will be in a disappointment. So
I don't know. I saw that Brian Bear is going to this tournament. So,
well, then you definitely need to do better than him because he just needs to be stopped. So good luck with that, and yeah, glad to have you back. And we'll be talking to you again before too long. Mike, how do we land the plane?
Yeah. This has been The Notorious Scoundrels, Season 4, Episode 39. I'm Mike.
I'm Evan.
I'm definitely Hercules.
Would you like to send us out on your favorite quote?
Oh, please.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.